man, yeah, man. How is the vibe like? How is the vibe like?
Vibe is nice. I can't complain. We have life, so you know what I mean. We keep pushing the music. The vibe is great, especially with Lagazee. You know, we have Lagazee across the ocean. So yeah, but we give thanks, man.
Definitely, we give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. Is this your first time talking to Africa?
Yes.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
Then the whole African, continent welcome Capital D into our space.
Easy.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, Africa. Love, 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 love.
Yeah, man. So, I know Capital D has been around for a minute. I would like to find out from you. I ask, every artist I talk to on this network the same question that, COVID hit us really bad and wild. Around the COVID time, how was life like for you and the I family?
Well, everybody a mask up. You know how that goes already. But I mean, musically, we kept it going because I have my recording studio, so I never had to worry about like doing shows or anything like that. So I just kept recording. I have my own recording studio. So I just record and record and record because I use any free time that I'm available. That I'm available to record. Just I record music and we have the internet. The greatest thing is we still have the internet and you can see what's going on across the world and. Everybody was Zooming. Everybody's doing these live Facebooks or live Instagram. So music was still going. It wasn't really slowing. It wasn't slowing me down. I mean, a lot of the songs that actually I think were being done on the album was during COVID. Yeah. So I mean, we just kept it moving regardless. I mean, COVID is not something. It might physically stop some people, but mentally it didn't stop us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I want to say we want to send our condolences to anybody that if you lost anybody during COVID, we send our condolences and because it was a hard time for certain people. Some people took it a lot worse than others,
All right. So it means that the COVID didn't stop, Capital D to do whatever Capital D had to do, but you had your own recording studio and you utilize it, at the COVID time. You know what I mean? That was the lockdown. I think that lockdown really helped a lot of people because families were not really together. You wake up, you go to work. Sometimes you meet your wife and kids maybe once every week or twice every week. So the COVID time really kind of brought a lot of families together and all that. Yeah, man, we give thanks. So moving forward.
If COVID was a sound, it never locked me off.
Easy.
Yo, I like this, man. I like this. So moving forward now, in terms of talking about Capital D, in terms of how you started, how was it like? I know you were born in Manhattan, how was it like growing up with your parents?
Well, my parents were very much in the church, especially my mother. Actually, if I can when I recall my childhood, my parents would take me to church. I think the first time I actually sang in front of anyone was in church.
Wow.
And the funny thing about it was I did something where I took a church song and I flipped it.
Wow.
I took the same melody and I put my own lyrics, and then my mother and the people at the church said, sing it in front of people. And they gave me a microphone, and that was, I think, the first time I actually sang in front of people, and I got a good reception, and it was great, So we give thanks for that. So my childhood I had a great childhood. I'm an only child.
Wow.
Never had any siblings. Very, very much loved by my parents. My father actually bought my first set of turntables.
Wow.
So he kind of, he embraced what I was doing, Yeah.
Wow. So your father bought your first, set of turntables. So it means that Capital D was a DJ from the beginning.
Yeah. Yes. I was a hip hop DJ. This is back when Run DMC, Houdini, KRS-One. I mean, all the greats, Rakim,
Mm-hmm.
Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie, a lot, a lot of them. So I was into that movement at the time. And around the 90s or late 80s, reggae dancehall was infiltrating inside you would start hearing it amongst hip hop DJs or on the radio stations, in the hip hop radio stations.
Oh,
and
all right.
it was artists like Shinehead, Supercat, you know, Shaba, whole heap of them, man, at that time, and it was infiltrating, and it was, I don't know what it was. It was just, it grabbed me, and to the point where I started following that and doing a little less of hip hop. So me gravitates to the reggae, and me never looked back ever since.
All right. So in the late 80s to the early 90s, reggae
Yeah.
kind of stepping in America, where the likes of you yourself begin to, gravitate, to it, and you never look back again. How was the movement like for reggae in those days, in terms of you trying to sway away from your hip hop and all that and going into reggae? How was the movement like?
Well, I mean, it was where I was living at the time of hip hop was a different area. I was living in Connecticut, but I was living in a different city, and reggae was not big in that city. To be exact, the name of the city is called Middletown. So it was all like it's predominantly American, like really not no West Indians until I moved up into Hartford, and Hartford is predominantly West Indian. I mean, right now where I'm talking to you live from Hartford, Connecticut, and where I'm in the center of it. It's just all Jamaicans and all type of West Indian people around here. I mean, most of the dances on events local on the stage shows, they're right down the road from me.
Wow.
So it wasn't until I moved to Hartford that I was surrounded by it. And it was something I was already starting to fall in love with. And then I started going to, like 1 and 2, little dances and everything. And I'm a buck up on a promoter and well, yeah, man. So it go from there.
All
It
right.
wasn't until really we reached Hartford, Connecticut, where everything really started on the reggae side.
All right. So, did you go into the artistic side, or you were a hip hop DJ who then studying, and then in late 80s to 90s reggae dancer stepping and all that? Did you carry your DJing stuff over there into reggae, or it was more of the artistic side?
All right. So when I lived in Middletown, we used to part with a bunch of people. So it was me and this next youth named Slim that we used to DJ. We were like, we had a little crew. It was like high school days. And we had a crew, and he was a DJ, I was a DJ. I mean, I talked with turntables. But at the same time, we had about 4 or 5 other people that used to rap, and I used to rap too. So I get that already. That kind of like I was learning the craft from hip hop days from rapping, and then now when I came into Hartford, now I transformed from hip hop to reggae, and now I did do the DJ thing because I have my own sound, not my own sound system, but I do voice dub plates.
Okay.
So I still love that side of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, me still carry it on over to this side, because when artists them forward over to my studio and everything, my voice dub plates with them and everything, and them always say, "Cap, want some song?" And yeah, man,
All right. So around that time, you said you had your own sound. Are you talking about a sound system that you joined, that you were part of it, or you just love a sound system and you decide to be Capital D, the artist? This is my sound where I'm going to voice all my dub plates.
I decided to be Capital D, the artist.
Okay.
But as a side thing, I have my sound thing. I don't play out yet because I'm looking for some selectors, some young selectors. But I have my sound now. It's called Caliente sound, where I'm loaded with, I have all type of dubs, But it's really the Capital D or Cappa Caliente, the artist, is really where my focus is on. That's really my 95, is my 100% focus is the artist, not really the sound thing. The sound thing is fun to me.
Okay. All right. So now, stepping into your bio or reading or researching about you, I realized that you've played a lot of shows in Jamaica and all that, and I am looking at it like, how did this happen for Capital D? How did that happen in terms of you now going to Jamaica to play the likes of, Reggae Sound Splash, plays, Rebel Salute, playing on Sting and all that?
Yeah, so in the early 2000s now, the person that is currently managing Dwayne Stevenson, the reggae singer from Jamaica, was my former manager at the time. He saw me here in Connecticut, and he saw something that he kind of like, yo, Mo, I manage that youth, and we're talking everything. I will come like really good friends. Till him decide to carry me to Jamaica and live amongst his family in Portmore. So there was times I would go to Jamaica and I would be there for like 6 months. One time I was down there for like living for like a year straight, and I was living amongst Dean Fraser, the legendary saxophonist. So I've spent a lot of time going back and forth to Jamaica. I mean, I spent like a lot of time. So, and I visited all the studios. And when you're amongst Dean now, Dean wakes you up early in the morning and say, "Yeah, come, we go a studio." And Dean is a man like how you would have artists that's going to go to studios to voice dub plates or 45. Dean has to go and play horns on people's songs, other artists' songs or producers. You know, so I'm gonna go with him. We'll go out a Gregory Isaac studio. We'll go at Bujo studio with him. We'll go at Tough Gang studio with him. We'll go at Anchors. We go everywhere. The Fattest Burrell Exterminator. We'll go everywhere with Dean. And what Dean didn't realize that I was soaking up everything like a sponge. I was just learning and learning and learning and learning and learning without even realizing it. And at the same time, Dean also would give me rhythms to put, and say, yo, I want your voice on this rhythm, and we're gonna check this producer and such, and I was just I was soaking it up in Jamaica. I was loving it.
Wow. So how did you end up on all these shows in terms of the Reggae Sound Splash, the
so
Rebel
if it wasn't
Salute
Dean,
and all that?
it was either Dean Fraser or my former manager. Plus, I had people in Jamaica that I was rolling with, like a person named DC from Changes International. They would get me on these shows, and like for example, one time I was doing a show. Luciano carried me on a lot of shows. Also, Luciano was pretty much the first big international reggae artist to really embrace me, and he took me on a lot of shows. I mean, I did like Rebel Salute with him. I did Morgan Heritage, St. Thomas East Fest. I did a lot of shows with Lucy, and like to the point where, like for example, even East Fest, I did it with Lucy, but now Morgan Heritage say, you know what, you're bad. I bring you forth next year, but by yourself. So then I was getting now. I didn't have to necessarily rely so much on Lucy. I was just doing my own thing now too, And Lucy, but like I said, Lucy was the first big artist really to embrace me, and even in the US, he carried me on the Northeast tour with him, and so we'll give thanks for Luciano for being one of the first artists for like really embrace and say, yo, do your thing, you.
All right. So in terms of performing in Jamaica now and all that, how was the response like? Because I know that Jamaican fans are hard to please.
Yeah. So, all right, listen to this joke now.
Yeah.
I realized the hard way that what you can get. All right, me as an entertainer, remember, I'm from Connecticut. So, and this is no disrespect to Connecticut, but I think they'll understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I might can get away with in Connecticut at that time, you can't get away with in Jamaica. It's a different set of people. It's a different culture, it's a different beast. So when I went to Jamaica, the only bad thing about the time that I went to Jamaica, I didn't have any songs on the road where people really knew me for.
All right.
So I was going up there and they were listening to songs that they just did not know. They did not know the artist. And so I remember performing my very first time on Sting in Jamaica. And it's the same Sting when Ninja Man and Cartel had that altercation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I performed on that one. That was my very first Sting.
Wow.
So I performed way before that. And I didn't have any songs. I didn't have a good reception. But the next year I'm gonna come on forward on the show again, and I had a much better reception because I remember listening to Ninja Man at Leng's office, and he said, listen, when you don't have a song where everybody knows you for, you sing either like maybe a weed song or a song where talk about the politics in Jamaica or in across the world. Anyway, it doesn't necessarily have to be about Jamaica, or somewhere that you feel there's an injustice when it comes to politics, or you can even say some Badman lyrics, and once the people, you go up there and you kind of you have to read the crowd too. So if you don't get a forward in the first couple seconds, it's just best you come off. You have to read the crowd.
Yeah.
So now if they accept you, you're gonna feel the reaction from the crowd, and you're gonna, they're giving you a forward or whatever,
Yeah.
so you can stay and do your thing, and then you just have to know when to come off as a young artist, because the best thing is established artists, they have songs that are on the radio and that everybody knows, so it's much, I don't want to say it's much easier because you still have to put in work,
Of course.
but it isn't easy. It's a little bit easier, for artists where when you have songs on the road that are more established and popular, you know what I mean? Everybody knows the song where they can sing, word for word or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your first time on Sting, you didn't get the attention you needed, but the second one was much appealing, right?
Yeah, man, nice.
All right.
A force thing to do. I did 2 in Jamaica, I did 1 in Miami, and I did 1 in Connecticut. They brought it in Connecticut also.
All right. All right.
Force thing.
Easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on Asaase Radio 99.5 in Accra, 98.5 in Ashanti region, Kumasi. Cape Coast is 100.3. Yeah, man, and the northern region 99.7.
Easy.
Respect to all our listeners across the country and also all those listening online and via Facebook. All those on Facebook, please share the link. We have Cappa Caliente all the way from America on the line with us.
Easy.
Yeah, man.
And
man.
We're talking about his career in terms of what he's been doing from those days till now. You understand me? So I would like to know from you, those days in America when reggae dancehall setting, that sound systems had the live artists and all that, did you partake in any of them?
As a fan, not as an entertainer.
Okay.
As a fan, I've been to events here in Connecticut where like Kilimanjaro would perform and they would clash maybe a Hartford sound, and Jaro would bring people like Early B, Burro Bantan, Hornsman, and Hammermouth and artists like that. So I've seen it live. Not as much as if I was in Jamaica, but I have seen it live. But as an artist, as a Capital D, no, because at that time I was still new and I was like, it's like I was going to school. So I was still learning and everything, even though I was a very young artist, but I did not participate in that era.
All right. So in terms of dubplate cutting now, as Capital D, the artist, which sound system did you first ever voice a dubplate for?
Wow.
Easy.
But probably some Hartford sound. Honestly, probably like most every Hartford sound have me on dub. Not all, but probably Hartford sounds. Hartford, because Connecticut, especially Hartford, was the first place to embrace me as an artist. And it was here where I did my first reggae show. And if it wasn't for that show, the reception I got from the crowd, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now about this. So most Hartford sounds, them voiced me back in the days like crazy. It's funny listening to some of the dubs because I sound completely different.
Okay.
And you can see the growth.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as big sounds now, boy, well, when we go to Jamaica, my voice for like some Stone Love and everything. My voice for a lot. Listen to this. I voiced for a lot of big sounds before. But some of them never really played a dub. But I'm noticing now they are playing the dubs. But I don't blame them for that. I understand it because probably at the time when I was voicing these dubs back then, I probably didn't sound as ready as I am now. So I don't blame them for that because everybody has a reason, you know what I mean? And sometimes people just like to sit on stuff, you know what I mean? Until you blow up or whatever, until you start making moves.
All right.
So I don't blame them.
All right. So let me say this. I got to know about Capital D through my good friend from the UK, that is Baby Boom. He sent me a rhythm project and I listened to it and immediately I played Capital D. I'm like, who this? Which artist this? I had to pull it back and play it again. So I did some videos and I sent to him. And he was like, yo, Lagazee, Capital D is not a UK artist. Because in my introduction and all that kind of thing, I did mention of UK and all that. He said, no, Capital D is not from UK, but it will be good for you to link him as a selector and then know him proper. And I'm like, all right. Then boom, the link was set. And me and Capital D start link up and all that kind of thing. Send me some songs. I around that time I wasn't on Asaase radio. I was on a different platform. But fast forward now. Then one time also, I used to, because I love sound system so much, anywhere that I know that there is a program concerning sound system culture, I try my possible best to join and listen to what is going on. And then boom, I step on War Report with Jawil and also Sir Alan Brando. And these people then began to play Capital D dub plate. I say,
A-Zed.
yeah. And then
man.
The whole thing intensified when War Report had that altercation with Rumble Talk. That was when, it was like a competition. This one says, yo, you can't play Capital D more than me. And this one, that one. And it was in. So I sat back and I'm like, wow, all right. I need to make sure I get this Capital D song in my dub box. And it wasn't easy. So I got to know about Capital D from that, and also with the dub plate works and all that kind of thing from that. Could you tell us on authority that War Report is part of the people that who really popularize your dub plate, cutting?
I would say I don't disagree with you, but I would say that more for the UK side.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that, what I was doing at the time, because believe it or not, I mean, I was actually voicing for other UK people before War Report, but because War Report really pushes their thing, especially with Facebook Live, a lot of people gravitated to that, and their show was predominantly about sound system culture. And Wolipa Sound Man listened to that show.
Okay.
So of course, sound system owners or selectors will contact me because of what they heard on War Report. But I was voicing for people like Big John 2000. He plays on the radio. Bullet Movements. I was voicing for a lot of them before War Report. But like I said, because War Report, their platform is predominantly about sound system culture, they say, all right, make one movie also, because I love the sound thing, I love do dub plates, and I like their energy. And they didn't have to play anything. They were playing everything they were playing them. They weren't holding back. And we give thanks to War Report for that, Brando and Jawil. So yeah, I mean, but this is the thing about the UK. I live in Connecticut, but as an artist, it's just like you're in Africa, but you try and push your thing in different areas.
Definitely.
So with the UK, I was trying to do something different instead of saying so much Connecticut. And I was already in Jamaica, and I knew people in Jamaica knew me. I was trying to attack different areas, different countries. You understand? So now I said, all right, they could do UK. Like for example, I'm working with Soul Stereo in Paris, so I know they have my thing locked over in France. You know what I mean? So and I'm working my way towards Germany and some other place, and I'm in the process of linking up with some Japanese sounds. So it's like you have to kind of like push your thing outside of where you live, because you can't just focus on one set. Like for example, now you're gonna hear a lot more Capital D in Africa.
Definitely.
Because now I'm working with Lagazee.
Definitely.
So you know what I mean? So you have to just kind of push down the gate, and so other people can hear you, because the world is big. But at the same time, you have the internet now, so it makes it a little bit easier. Not easier, but it makes it a little bit easier. So for example, like I said, so in Africa now we have Lagazee, and so we are trying to push the thing in different areas. So in the UK, that's it, we were pushing it with War Report, and like I said before War Report, Big John 2000, Bullet Movements, even Bullet Movements make me voice a song with Foundation singer Dennis Walks, who sang Drifter. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So other people in the UK were like very, them helped my career too, So
Definitely.
we give thanks for the UK.
Definitely. All right.
A-Zed.
40 minutes going into the hour 2, and exactly 3 p.m. we'll be out of here. The time is kind of running like, yo.
Yeah, man. I saw it go, man.
I just don't know. The time is just running. Let's step into A to Z now with the project with Lion Dub. How come you entitled the album A to Z? And if you look into this album, It looked like you specifically and intentionally did it for the sound system culture world, because all the songs on it, you know, if you're familiar with sound system culture, you know that, oh, this is 45. You can even play it at Sound Clash and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You tell us about A to Z. Why A to Z?
Yeah, A to Z. Now, the whole concept of the A to Z, the song, it came from a dub plate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big sound here in the US and in Jamaica called Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And Emperor voiced the dub with me, and like midway through the dub plate,
Mm-hmm.
I started doing this A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
First time ever.
Mm-hmm.
And they played that dub alongside King Addies
Mm-hmm.
in Connecticut. And then like when the audio came out, I was getting a lot of calls from soundmen saying, "Yo, that A to Z," because the way Emperor, the Naj Supreme,
Mm-hmm.
intro the song, he made it sound like it was a different song when it was actually the same dub plate, but
Yeah.
it was down deep in the song.
Yeah.
But he made it the way he introed it. He said, "Yo, this me just got attack Wolipa sound,
Yeah.
A to Z," and then I started going into this A to Z, and I started getting phone calls about, "Yo, I want that dub, I want that dub." So now at that time we're in the process with Lion Dub making the album. And I said, all right, we're going to do these sound system songs, but we're going to also do a song called A to Z because I'm getting a lot of requests for it. So like we're making sure that we leave one rhythm aside for A to Z. And then because of the A to Z popularity, when it did come out from the dub plates, we decided to name the album A to Z. You know, yeah. So, and at the same time, I wasn't around as an artist in the time when the duck rhythm, the sick rhythm, slang tang rhythm. When all these rhythms were really released in the 80s and 90s, I wasn't established as an artist like I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to have something that people can still have that gravitates from that era. So it'll be like a classic thing. So people still can play me amongst those the greats like Supercats and Tenor Saws and Nitty Gritties and yeah man. So it was a great project. And big up Lion Dub because he's another youth and believe in me and Lion Dub is a great producer, a perfectionist, and I believe it or not, I've been doing this a long time, and this is my first album ever. I've recorded crazy singles, crazy combinations with artists and everything, collaborations. But this is my first album, and I said let's do a sound system album, and then I got like endorsements by like Ricky Trooper and Puma from LP, King Addies, Kingpin, Wally for them, Panther, Soul Stera, Wally for them, and they gave me drops for the album, and it's a great look. The album is doing great.
Wow, and looking into that, I'm like, wow. I was going to ask about the endorsement where the sound systems were like, yo, doing the intro for the eye and all that. But I didn't hear from any African sound system. I don't know, maybe if there is a reason for that.
Because A to Z is gonna have maybe a part 3 or part 4.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
As a matter of fact, Lagazee, you're lucky. You're lucky in A to Z. Man, never call out Lagazee in a L.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, reason with capital D. Trust me, it's all fun over here, and we're going into the album with Lion Dub A to Z. And trust me, this album, 18 tracks on the album. If you haven't heard it, please make sure
it's probably like about 14 tracks, but plus because it has the drops from the selectors like Trooper and everybody, it comes out to about 18 or something like that. But it's actually about maybe 14 or 15 tracks.
Okay. All right. So you go online and type his name, capital D. You understand me? And then add capital D and Lion Dub A to Z. And trust me, you will see it. It's on all digital platforms.
Yeah. Or if you want to make it even easier, like I see anybody going on a computer, if they go on Google or whatever, or Chrome, whatever your search engine is, just type in capital D reggae. And my social medias will come out and probably the albums, everything, and songs and everything. And same thing with even if you go on YouTube, if you just put in capital D reggae, you'll see some things up there.
All right. Are we Are we going to see some maybe music videos from this particular album?
Yeah, we're in the process of actually doing some videos already. Yeah, man, we're in the process now. Yeah.
All right.
Asaase Radio.
This is Asaase Radio, the voice of our land, and online is capital D. Let's talk about this in connection with the 420 day. That is Higher Influence, Cappa Caliente, and Jazzy T.
Yeah.
Tell us about this
man.
song here.
Well, Jazzy T from Renaissance, great selector, great sound system personality, celebrity. I know him a long time. I know him from Jamaica through my friend DC from Changes. And believe it or not, Jazzy T has a brother that's also a producer named DJ Kareem. I used to voice for him before Jazzy in Jamaica. So, his brother, big up Kareem, his brother, used to voice me and everything. So now Jazzy link me and say, yo, are you in time now? I have a rhythm. And him send like 3 rhythms. And the rhythm that I chose that I like was the high influence rhythm. And me listen it, and something about sometimes a rhythm will give me the inspiration of what type of song it should be. And the rhythm to me gave me a herbs vibes, weed vibes. But I wanted to do something a little bit different for because there's a million weed songs. So I'm gonna try and do a song where everybody can relate to it, even non-smokers. And the song actually, the inspiration really, other than the rhythm, was I was in a sound clash in New York. This is the first time I'm talking about this now.
Yeah.
I was in a sound clash in New York, me and Emperor, and we was at a sound clash listening to and I was hanging next to Puma.
All right.
LP, we are par.
Yeah.
Puma, we don't want to put his thing out there like on that, but on blast, but Puma blaze up heavy.
Yeah, man.
And not the normal. I saw something that when him light up, the whole play, 20 people, 30 people could be lighting up, but when Puma light up, you just So I catch myself like in a clash. I'm gonna say, yo, I catch a contact, cause I wasn't blazing. So we get that inspiration from High Influence. From that, actually, that I think I did the song probably the following weekend. Because I was thinking about it. I was like, yo, this makes sense. This is like, yeah, what happened at the clash. And so I get the inspiration from hanging around Puma LP when he was blazing up, and I was like, yo, I catch a contact.
Asaase Radio.
So it's out, right?
Yeah, man. It was released this month on April 7th. It's out. The video is out. A lyric video is out. Yeah, man, it's out. Definitely out. Yeah, man. High Influence. Produced by it's Cappa Caliente, which is same capital D. But the reason why we did this Cappa Caliente is Jazzy wanted to try and reinvent capital D. So sometimes as an artist, you have to take advice and opinions, because you don't want to be just one-minded. You know what I mean? You want to listen to your peers amongst you, and you say, yo, Cap, make we try and relaunch your thing. So he said, let's do Cappa Caliente. We decided on a name. We say Cappa Caliente because it's still, Cappa is kind of like saying capital D. And Caliente was always my phrase. Like how you would have killer, bounty killer, Lord of mercy, or bullet. But my thing was Caliente. So we still have the Caliente, Cappa Caliente. And then Jazzy T. And we'll put together a nice song, man. High Influence. Under the influence of secondhand smoke. Got me thinking, should I take a one toke? Just one drop. One drum make me feel like I was up inside a helicopter. Bad song, Lagazee.
Yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, so go check that one out. Higher Influence, Cappa Caliente, and also Jazzy T. Big one over there. Capital D, do you have any mind in terms of coming to Africa, or to go to any African country, or come to Africa, for a show?
I would love to. I would love to. But you see, Africa, I hear so many beautiful things about Africa that the day that I forward, I have to bring my family, my wife and my daughter. I have to bring them because there's certain places I can travel alone, but if I go to Africa, I have to bring the family. Definitely. Because I hear so much beautiful things about Africa, and I see the reception some of these artists get. Regardless, I don't care about the reception, because I think even if I go as capital D, Cappa Caliente, the artist, not gonna be a tourist same way, you know. Me and Lagazee, we are gonna do some touring, you know,
Of
some
course.
regular tourist thing, you know. Because at the same time, I'm capital D, but I can stop being capital D any day I want. I'm Miguel, you know. So sometimes I'm Miguel, my government name. Sometimes I'm capital D, and you know what? Sometimes I want to go to Africa and enjoy myself and go see some things because, you know, I'm tired of this cold weather over here, you know, brother.
Easy.
Yeah, man. So Africa, you know, all the countries listening to us right now on Asaase Radio, Capital D is open. You know, so if a man want to link you up for maybe a show or anything in terms of what you're doing and all that, how can the man link you up? Via which medium?
Yeah. So again, if you go on social media and you type in capital D reggae, you will see my social medias, right?
Okay.
You can inbox me either on my Facebook or my Instagram. See it? And if you need to verify that it is me, we talk it out and in my inbox, and if I have to make a phone call or whatever, WhatsApp call, now everybody can connect and talk. If you have to see it's really me, we'll do whatever I have to do and say, yo, see, I mean, because you can see me, you see me, right, Laga?
Of course.
See
I'm
me,
seeing you
all right,
live.
yeah?
Yeah,
All
man.
right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
Easy.
So you will know it's really me. See?
Definitely.
Yeah, man, see? Yeah.
Definitely. So Junior Maestro all the way from Norway is on the live on Facebook, and he's asking that Lagazee, ask him, how has the Latin American continent embraced him?
Well, by the dub plate requests I get, I would say good. But you have to remember in the Latin, all right, I've gotten great acceptance. And the reason I say that is because of the places I get dub requests from, because I get a lot of dub plate requests from Colombia, Argentina, Portugal, a lot of places. So we give thanks. Some songs it seem like are gravitating more to that side than maybe, for example, in Africa. Maybe in Africa there's a particular song that's getting more rotation. In Jamaica there might be a particular song that's getting more rotation. But I've had great success over there, and even though with the Latin a Latin market or Hispanic Latino market, a lot of it nowadays is like reggaeton. But I've been doing this thing before reggaeton existed, you know, so that's why a lot of people say, well, why you not do reggaeton? Because when I started, there was no reggaeton. It was people like the closest thing to that was like people like from Panama, El General, El General, Nando Boom. These were the big artists creating waves as Spanish artists, reggae artists, but they were doing reggae. And this is way before reggaeton. So yeah, and we give thanks for them because kind of they also them you could have said them inspired me too, you know, because they were put, you know, busted down the door at that time. Yeah, so big up the Panamanian artists like Nando Boom and El General. Yeah, man, because they were doing it, and big them up same way. I think they're still doing it. They're still touring and everything.
All right.
Easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, it's been lovely and it's been sweet dealing with Capital D on the album A-Zed, and trust me,
Yeah.
it's available. I want you to just Google his name and go out there and support the artist, because this is what we do and this is what we represent.
Easy.
And you know, Asaase Radio, the voice of our land, we are always in for the artists. This is the home for reggae dancehall and sound system culture, and you know how the game is already. That when we step on the case, trust me, we cross every red light.
Asaase Radio.
Yeah, man. So, Capital D, in wrapping up, before we wrap up, what do you make of, you know, people saying that, you know, dancehall is violence? You know, there is a video even circulating on social media that a show that happened in Canada, I think.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Friday
It's
night.
disgusting.
Yeah, by,
Disgusting. I
you know,
don't like it.
you know,
I don't like what I saw. But I mean, I really too talk about that, but me see it. But no, I mean, I don't like it because no, I mean, I don't like it. I saw it and I don't like it. But that's all. Music. The world in general is violent, and brother. It's not really music, you know. I mean, yeah, people have to be responsible. You can listen. All right, for example, I like watch when I watch movies, I like watch some gangster thing or some crime movies and everything, and there's shooting and everything and you know, and there's violence in all type of different ways. There's war movies from history movies from back in the days, because if you look at history, war was always happening.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean I must go pick up a gun, or I must go shoot somebody, or I must go rob something. I'm gonna leave that to the TV, but you have to be a responsible person, and I say a lot of it has to do with your upbringing too. My parents never bring me up like that. Them love me a lot, so to you know, to the point where and them teach me where this is right and this is wrong. And as you grow up too, you learn. You also learn. Cause I'm a street smart enough, so you learn in life of how to try and maintain yourself as a person. And then I'm a father. I have my children, so I have to be responsible for them too, and show them, be a role model for them. But people themselves, they have to take it upon themselves for you have to smart in this, You have to be smart. You can't, the world right now, it's a crazy time, Because may I tell you the truth, there's things going on in the world now that I just don't remember them happening when I was like a teenager or young adult. I'm seeing some crazy stuff going on in the world, but such is life. And we have to just kind of like move with the punches and roll with it and navigate ourselves to the positive and stay away from the negative. There's going to be both, but you have to just try and navigate yourself and, surround yourself around good people. Because if you surround yourself around negative people, negative things are going to happen. Yeah, man. So you just surround yourself around good people, the right people. People will love you. Don't be selfish in life. Try, if somebody help you along the way, help another one. You don't have to help the same person. Help another one. Each one teach one. So yeah, man. It's you have to just love, man. Love. It's all about love, brother. Love.
Definitely.
Life is short enough.
Seriously.
Life is short. I'll blink of an eye,
Let me give you a joke before we wrap it up. On the 10th, on the Easter Monday, 10th of April, myself and Daddy Bosco spoke about Jashaka on this same platform. We spoke about him extensively and what he has done in Ghana and how he came to Ghana in the late 80s to the 90s and what he has done and the land he has acquired in Ghana in the brewery and all that. We spoke about him the Monday, the 10th. And then on the 12th, I got the news in the afternoon that Jashaka has passed on. And I'm like, but wait, what is this? You know what I mean? So as you said, life is too short. Let us appreciate every moment. You understand me? And live by it. Capital D, before I leave you finally on the line, your words of advice to the people listening to you, and then also your plans you have, in the future line. I don't want to say in the pipeline because sometimes when you open the tap in Africa, it doesn't flow. So what do you have in the future line? And also your word of advice.
Yeah, man. Well, my other album out right now. If you haven't listened to it, go stream it, go check it out. A-Zed, capital D, A-Zed. It's out, it's available. My other song, the single with Jazzy T called High Influence. Go check it out. The video is available. My other song about to release May 5th with Upsetter Records called Barriers. I'm on the rhythm. Sizzler, Bugle, Wolipa artists. Look out for that. Advice. My advice is for the young artists. Take a page out of my book. If you're an artist, a reggae artist, dancehall, whatever kind of, if a hip hop artist, try save a little money, invest in yourself, invest in your craft. It's like if you're a mechanic, you can't be a good mechanic if you not have a wrench, hammer, tools the way you need. So as an artist, buy yourself a microphone, buy whatever you can buy. You don't have to buy everything. We understand that you can't get everything one time, because even my studio, I didn't get everything one time. You just get piece by piece and have your own stuff, so you don't have to necessarily rely on people. And it helps you, it allows you to practice on your own time, on your own schedule as much as you want. And so yeah, I would say to all the young artists, be humble. If every small opportunity can have a big outcome, and just be humble and love what you're doing, because I'm not in this for money. I love it, because if I was in it for money, I would have stopped long time ago. I mean, I have no mansion and nothing like that. I love this thing. So love what you do, regardless of what you do, whether it's music, whether it's fixing cars, whether it's helping the elderly. Just love what you do. Love life. Surround yourself around positive people, and blessings to everyone in Africa. I hope to see the item live and a living. Zane,
Yeah,
Africa.
man.
Yes, man. A-Zed. Test Africa, then somebody dead. Africa never see us how we them afraid yet. Bam. Lagazee.
Yeah, man. So if you check on the Facebook Live on Asaase 995 page, Lagazee Sound International has gone to copy the A-Z link and pasted it on the live. So if you are there, it will be easy for you to just click on it and then support the artists. And would like to say big up to Lagazee Sound International and the whole crew, Benedict Jafface, Bob Africa, Junior Maestro, and myself.
Yeah, man. Big up Lagazee.
Yeah,
Lagazee,
man.
the whole family.
Respect.
Mad.
Capital D, I would
Respect,
like to say thank you so much for your time and space.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Say it until the next time. Africa, enough love and respect. Caliente, fuego. Africa, yes, man. Bam.